everyone. So today I'm going to show you how to do part 2 of your topographic maps lab, gradient and topographic maps lab. So it says directions. Actually, let's start here. I have a map. I'm given the north arrow. I'm given the contour interval, which is 20 feet. I'm given a scale. And yeah, and I see there's a creek, Chris Creek, a river flowing, a stream flowing. I see line A and B. I see these circles, circular contour lines that represent mountains, and I see more horizontal contour lines. Okay, so it says on the grid below, construct a topographic profile along line AB, right here, by plotting the elevation of each contour line that crosses line AB. Points A and B have been plotted. Connect all 9 plots with a line from A to B to complete the profile. So what it's basically asking us to do is to create a side view profile of this topographic map. So this is from the bird's eye view, from the top view, right? This is our mountain, and it's asking us to create a side view profile of this terrain from line A to line B. So to do that, the first thing you need to do is figure out the elevation of each contour line from line A to line B that crosses through line A to line B, including A and B. So let's get started. So I already know that A is 400. I need to know what these lines, what elevations these lines are. And to do that, I need my contour interval. My contour interval is 20 feet, which means that each of my lines are changing in elevation by 20 feet. So if this is 400 feet and this is 500 feet, I know that my elevations are increasing from A towards B, and with each line, my elevation is increasing by 20 feet. So that means if this is 400, this must be 420. I'm gonna use my marker to write this. 1 second. 420, and this one must be 440. So then this one must be 460, 480, and finally this is 500. Okay, but we need to figure out the elevations for each lines crossing through line AB. So let's make this a bit clearer. This line is 420, this line is 440, this line is 460, this line is 480, this line crossing through line AB is 500, right? This line crossing through AB is also 500, so I'm going to make that clear with these arrows. But this line that's crossing through AB is 480 as well, so I'm going to write 480 on this side as well. I'm making sure that I know the elevation of every single line that's crossing through line A and B. So this is 480, and B must be 460. So I'm going to write 460 right here. I'm just following the line, and I previously wrote 460. This side of the same circle must also be 460. And A is 400. I'm going to make that clear as well, because this line is 400. So now that I have all the elevations of every single contour line that's passing through A, from A to B, the line AB, I can create a side view profile right here of this map. So to do that, I'm going to need scrap paper. And on the scrap paper, I'm going to mark the elevation of every single contour line and their locations in place, because the profile that I'm making, the side view profile that I'm making, has to be spaced out exactly the same as this map. So I can't skip the scrap paper part, because the scrap paper will enable me to make sure that both are equally spaced out, or is spaced out the same way. So I'm going to take my scrap paper and I'm going to align it with line AB just like this. And then I'm going to mark all the locations between line A and B where contour lines pass through, and I'm going to write down their elevations as well. So first I'm going to mark A and B. Here's A, here's B, B, A. And then I'm going to mark all the lines that are passing through. Actually, before that, I'm going to write the elevations for B, 460. And for A, 400. I'm going to write it kind of sideways so that I have space for all the numbers. And then this line is also passing through AB. This line is passing through this is passing through, this is passing through, this is passing through. These are all the lines that are passing through line AB, and I just also need to write their elevations. This one is 420, 440, 460, 480, 500, 500, 480, and finally B is 460, just like this. So now I know exactly how spaced out the contour lines are and what the elevations of the contour lines represent, including A and B. And now that I have the markings, I can make a side view profile of this same exact topographic map. I'm going to go down to my graph right here, and on this graph I'm supposed to show what happens to my elevation on the map with distance. That's why it's so important for me to mark it exactly how spaced out it is on this map. So what I'm going to do is take this and align it in the bottom right exactly where A and B is, just like this. Let me just lift it a little bit. There you go. Okay, so notice that now that I align this, A, they already drew a dot for me at A for 400. A's elevation I said is 400. They drew a dot for me at 400. B's elevation is 460. Notice that they drew a dot for me at 460 right above B, right? So notice that the dots that we're about to make are right above my markings, and they're up right at the elevation that I wrote down. And our objective is to create a line graph now based on the elevation, almost like a line graph. So in this part of my map, the elevation should be 420. So right above it, I'm gonna do dashed lines, but you don't have to do it exactly. You don't have to do the dashed lines. I'm gonna draw a dot right at 420, elevation of 420, because this part was elevation was 420. My elevation here is 440, so I'm gonna draw a dot right above this at 440. My elevation here was 460, so I'm gonna go up and draw a dot at 460. Elevation here is 480. I'm gonna go up and draw a dot at 480. Elevation here is 500. I'm gonna go up and draw a dot at 500. Notice that the elevation here is also 500. I'm gonna draw a dot and draw right above 500. Notice why it's so important to use the scrap paper and mark exactly the positions of the contour lines, because the spacing has to be exactly as the map above. Finally, I draw a dot at 480. And they already did 460 for me. Now that I have this, all I need to do is connect the dots. But you have to be careful right here. You can't ever draw a line or connect the dots straight horizontally like this. It either has to dip, bend upwards or dip downwards. For instance, let's just connect the dots here first. So I'm going to connect from here, A, to this line, 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 and then from here to this line, to this line, to this line. But notice over here, this part of the map is actually this area on the map, right? And this is a hill. So hills are not flat. That means since I'm making a side view profile, I can't just draw a horizontal line like this. For hills, the bend, my line always has to curve upwards just like this and connect. but you cannot, when you're curving upwards, you can't touch 520, because from here to here, between here, even though this is 500, this area cannot be 520, because if it was 520, we would have another circle with 520, because my contour interval is 20 feet. So it has to be a number that's greater than 500 and less than 520. That's why when you're making the hill, the side view profile of this hill, we already know the elevation of this hill, the top of this hill, cannot be 520. It has to be less than 520. So that's why I'm making the curve upwards, but not touching 520. And that's it for this one. Go ahead and try number 2 and watch the next video.